Brad Wozny has his entire money taken. There's been other people who've had on my show from Canada that talked about this, but this is some of the money laundering and control systems that we're seeing that Jerome Corsi is talking about here.
What we have is shocking, because it was a law enforcement officer in Tennessee who began investigating a drug smuggling operation in Tennessee. He found out it was also child aid, bringing up fentanyl drugs into Tennessee by the waterways and the children. He identified the properties and the ways in which these assets were being distributed into the country. And the money was going into TD Bank. To get the money out of TD Bank, the NGOs that were sponsoring this activity bought homes. Buy a home for $100,000. They were being given loans by TD Bank and others of $1 million. At the highest level, the money, the drug money, the child sex money was coming in.
Now, the NGOs, non-governmental organizations that he's talking about, have funneled a lot of this money to the Democrat Party and judicial people and so forth that have gone after the Trump organization, all the way back when he was first elected and all the way up to today. And especially during the time frame where he was not in office, but in the background, as the 46th president, right? So there's a lot of this stuff being exposed, and the money laundering, like he's talking about, is pretty significant. We're talking billions and billions of dollars that's being funneled into Black Lives Matter to do the riots. Most of the riots that we're seeing right now anywhere are funded by the Democrat Party, and this is all of the stuff that's getting ready to be revealed very shortly.
Do Act Blue through NGOs. They were buying $1 million homes, and they were getting $100 million mortgages, which of course was not the mortgage. It was just a way for the bank to funnel that money back to them through a mortgage scam. Okay, so the Democratic Party, NGOs that in turn with all this money fund Antifa and Black Lives Matter and other groups that want to destroy the United States, including groups that want to rig the elections. So the Democratic Party is tied into drug running, fentanyl running, open borders. The Catholic Church is involved in setting it up and brokering the deal through Pope Francis, involved in pedophilia, child sex trade, and that money is what goes into Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and it's hundreds of billions of dollars. It isn't just a few $1 billion, it's hundreds of billions of dollars. And so you've got government money supporting the Democratic Party destruction of America through NGOs, not just through USAID, but through actual participation in the fentanyl trade, the drug trade, the Sinaloa cartel, and child sex trade. I mean, which is horrible. Anyone who would abuse a child, and sex trade meaning even sex with infants, or seized for this purpose. Okay, so it's a shocking story. But what the investigator, who's the whistleblower, and he's already had one meeting with the Department of Justice, and I've been on the phone with the Department of Justice actually over the weekend, back and forth, to make sure that we're going to transfer all of his data. He did a lot of research on Lexis and Nexus, which I've used, and they're very good sources for doing this kind of research. We talk every day. And General Flynn has also supported us and been helping me to write editorials and articles exposing this. But if we press this, the Democratic Party will not exist in 6 months.
So the Democrat Party will not exist in 6 months. So that's a bold prediction, but I think it's very possible. And if President Trump does the election emergency, where he sends out, I have remote viewed troops at election polling, not polling, but election booths going forward to make sure that they're not disrupted, because I think there will be a massive threat in our election system come November 26. So year 26. So I see definitely the involvement of the military. They're probably going to be called out earlier. There's going to be a sweep. This is some of the things that Juan O'Savin has talked about, where everyone will have to re-register. If you pay taxes and you have you're an American citizen and you can prove that. I don't know if they're going to go that far. Hopefully, they're going to go that far. I don't see why they couldn't. If you have a fair election, you will not see a Democrat elected probably throughout all of America, and I think that's coming. So this is the direction we're moving in. I think over the next several months, with all the reveals that are coming about the Democrat Party, which is basically just a communist system now that wants to destroy America. So they're actively, trying to destroy America, and that's what President Trump is trying to bring in National Guard and some military into some of these areas, like Portland and Chicago. So I guess like I talked about yesterday, the justice, all the justices, Supreme Court justices, basically said no. This is worded incorrectly. It says for like general, the troops or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like they are kind of like saying that American troops can come in. So they need to lay down the law. And I think that's coming in the next year, very early on. So we'll see. If it does, then we'll understand why there's been a pause on a lot of stuff, because it's going to, in one pretty much fell swoop, it's going to basically tie all these Democrats, these evil, corrupt, child trafficking, 300,000, over 300,000. They talked about that in the beginning of that conversation. It was readied before the Biden lookalike person and his administration basically opened the borders. So they went down in Honduras and a lot of those areas, and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, with tons, billions and billions of dollars. They brought in children, over 300,000 children or more, probably more, we might find out, and basically gave them right into the child slave trade here in America. So it is crazy. It's crazy what they've done. And I think that Americans are becoming aware of it more and more by the day. So look at that gorgeous snow behind MJS. That's right. So enjoy the snow. If you're in a non-snow area, you get a little white Christmas right here, right? So it's beautiful. So Shanghai silver price today went to 78.55, and what was the closeout of the American, silver price, because they came in and hammered it today. They basically called the people that had large positions, and they said that if you have a lot of money in something and you've done it off of borrowing or whatever, I can't think of the name right now, but you have to have this much in your position, and they did it. So they only had a few hours. So they tried what they tried to do back in 2008 and 9, where they crashed the silver price, and all the way back to the Hunt brothers. They tried to do this. They tried to do the same thing, but people came in and started buying that. All right. So they tried to crash it, and it stopped, and then it turned back around again. And we're seeing, like I'm showing here, the Shanghai they're not messing around. They need the physical silver, because they're building out all these different solar and batteries and all kind of stuff that you only need 9 minutes to charge your car battery. When when you go in, I know when I go in and like fill up, it takes about that long. You know, I fill up, you know, go in and grab something and use the restroom, whatever, come back. It's more than 9 minutes. So in 9 minutes, you could have your electric car charged up. So this is going to be massive, but it takes a lot of silver because only silver can deal with the amount of heat that comes from a fast charge like that. All right, so in a lot of silver, we're talking like over 2 pounds, 2.2 pounds of silver in these batteries. So that's a lot. And imagine every electric car having those in the future. That's right there is a massive amount. And of course, silver is in everything now, medical because it's got antibacterial properties. So they have it in a lot of stuff. Wow, that was a big thump. It came off the roof and landed on my deck. So you guys probably see it bombing down there. I was like shoveling that earlier and getting a little bit of a bomb, but now it's going to be down heavy. All right, so we'll see silver continually go up. All right, because they're already betting at in some of these areas like you see right there, 78. I'm looking right now at what it closed at because those markets closed early today. So they pushed back on a lot of the precious metals today. They came in and basically hammered it. They tried to like blow it up and push it down so that they could get out of their shorts. Is what they're trying to do. So silver here in America settled at 71.68. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. Now there shouldn't be any difference, and if there is a difference, then it gets very quickly balanced. So we're going to see a balancing act, and as you can see here, it is rocketing up in China. So 78.55 is we're going for 100 very soon, and like I predicted, 85. No, I said 75 to 85 by the end of the year. So just right here, we're in that zone. But in America, with the manipulation that goes on here, where they use paper to monetize gold and silver, which is ridiculous. You need the physical gold and silver, and platinum and so forth. By playing this game, this paper game, these banksters are getting hammered because they had short positions because they thought they were going to like press it down, and it didn't work out. So we may see on Friday, we may see a massive pop, like we saw, this week. It popped big today because it was thin trading, and they came in and said anyone that had, big positions, you had to be able to cover it with this much liquid, money, and it put a lot of people. It was like so much, and people couldn't handle it. They couldn't do it, and so they basically came in and got hammered. Yeah, squeezing. That's right, Brenda. They're squeezing. They tried to squeeze, but it is going to backfire on them. So the squeeze they're doing is so they can get out of their shorts, which is going to cause the position to start to rocket. Probably, I will believe, on Friday. So we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I remember a lot of people were like, when Dr. Kirk Kelly and I were like, get into silver, and that was back when it was 49.50. Like what, a month or two ago? It's like, geez, and it pulled back as silver does, like it did today. It pulled back, and we're like, this is a buying opportunity. Don't whine because it doesn't go up in a straight line all the time. You're going to see, you're going to still make out, and sure enough, that position is up quite substantially. We went from 50 to probably Friday, if things are going in the direction I think they are, we may see 75. So, yeah, good, Barry. Took Kirk Elliott's advice. So a lot of people, myself included, took his advice, and we're very financially stable, right, and very happy financially. So if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Brenda, if you have like 50,000 ounces of silver, you don't hold it on in your possession. That would have like every robber all over the West Coast coming to my house, right? So no, you put it in a place where it's safe, right? So I don't know, maybe a lot of you guys, maybe like your grandma has 500 ounces that she's had, for decades, and she's doing really well, and you are like, clowning around, not getting any silver, or you sold your silver back when it was around $50, and you're like kicking yourself in the ass. Still not too late, guys. Still not too late to get into silver. So there you go. It is going to go much higher, like I predict. It will go to probably $150 sometime at the end of the first quarter, is what I'm guesstimating. Maybe in the middle, second quarter. So we'll see very big numbers in gold going forward, or silver going forward, and gold and platinum and palladium, all of them. I don't have palladium, but I have all the other ones. Right, so I'm very happy. And now here's a little tip for you. I'm not an advisor, so don't go. I took Michael Jacobs' advice, and it didn't work out for me. Everything that you have, is like, I wouldn't say that silver is a speculation, but some of you have been holding on to crypto for quite some time, and you're very sad about that. Right? While those of us that have moved into silver are very happy. It's a very happy Christmas for us. But for cryptos, not so much. And I don't know where it's going to go. If the stock market does, reach all-time highs, which we're going to see the stock market pump. They always pump it up at the end of the year, guys. So they look good on paper at the end of the year, so they can brag that, look, we have this much percentage increase, and it's probably just that last little. Sometimes it's just that last month that they ramp it up. That gives them like a good look, and then next year it starts to crash again. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I predicted that we would see some super all-time highs in the stock market. Again, not investment advice, but just by the standard of what we've seen in the past, there's usually a big blow-off before it crashes. All right. So we haven't really seen a big blow-off top high, I don't think yet. But maybe it is. Maybe these highs that we've seen are just, that's it. Right. It could be, but I don't think so. We'll see. So if it does continue to go up, then gold and silver and precious metals will continue to go up. We may see gold, silver, and the rest of them go sideways for a little bit. Are you aware that of Ohio governor running candidate Casey Puch is running against Vivek and has his own YouTube channel? He was recently on Tucker Carlson. He seems down to earth. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I have not looked at him, but thanks for bringing that to my attention. I will look at him. I'm not a big fan of Vivek, but Ramaswamy, but I would say he's better than any Democrat they can throw out there. So but if this guy is even a better candidate, just a down to earth guy, like you say, and just salt to the earth, and basically just wants to do good for humanity and his state, then I'm like, that's where we need to be going. All right. So I think that's where we're going to be moving. Mike, what is the best place to keep my physical silver? Depends on how much you got, Kathy. Now, if you have, a couple hundred ounces, whatever, a few hundred, whatever it is, somewhere around 1,000 ounces, I have a lot, right? So on hand, but I wouldn't, have way ridiculous amounts on it, and that's just common sense for multiple reasons. And I would say that if you're like an IRA or something like that, contact the Dr. Kirk Elliott to give you free advice. I know a lot of people have done their IRAs, changed a lot of their IRAs over to, and I recommend Dr. Kirk Elliott because he is above board, where there's a lot of shysters out there, and probably some of the people you've been dealing with for a long time are shysters. You just don't realize it yet, right? So don't just look into it. You know, they'll answer your questions on it. Depending on how much you got and how much you want to transfer. If you have it in a depository, like have a friend that has a depository in Canada, and we're like, get it out of there. That's a corrupt place, bad corrupt. You better get out of there. So she's going to have her silver transferred over to Dr. Kirk Elliott. And I don't know how that works either. I don't think they're going to put it on trucks and drive it over there. I think they'll probably just do some kind of swap, you know, type thing. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So what else we got going on out there? There's a few more things I want to cover. Just let me see. I'm covering everything on the silver breakout. Yeah, so there's really good stuff I believe is going on with silver, precious metals. But like I said, I was about to go into miners. So miners, I'm starting to go pretty heavy in miners because I think it's the time now. It hasn't been the time, although they have gone up pretty nicely so far this year, but not as much as they would normally. If you look back in time, they've had, and I'll probably go into more detail about this later, but they've had significantly higher breakouts when silver and gold and the other precious metals go up. They haven't done that yet. So there could be a 3-4x on some of the miners. So the ones that I like are, and I'll share the screen again so I can show you guys. There's several of them, and there's a couple that I'm going to start to look heavily at. All right, so, and when I say heavily at, that means invest heavily. All right, so SIL, all right, you see down. It may continue to go down. Like I said, these could go down or sideways, but I think we're still going to see a little bit more pop on silver before it kind of takes a little break and it takes a little nap and then takes off again, right? So it's been on a big sprint, and we need to let it rest a little bit. So, but I still think it has some legs because everybody is buying. Silver has been so suppressed for so long. We may just see silver just keep going up, right? It may not rest, and if it does rest, it won't rest for long. So SIL, that's the it's one of the silver miners. SILJ, these are junior miners. As you can see, the price range 29 and 87. GDX, which is gold, and FBSW, which is platinum and I think gold. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that one. But this one right here, because platinum has really, you guys remember in the last like 2008, 2007, 2008, platinum was more than gold? Yeah. So platinum has really been on a tear over the last week or two. And I think it's going to rest a little bit, pull back a little bit, and then and probably take off again at some point. So this would be the time to look at the miners. So the miners no one has wanted to promote or do the miners. I even talked to Juan Savin, and he's like, no, on miners. He told me this a long time ago. I haven't asked him recently, but I do my own research. The miners, when you look back in time, do your own research and take your own risks. But like I said, it's all about everything's a risk. All right, so life is a risk, but we live it, right? So these could be great opportunities for you going forward. Look at those for you guys that invest in that kind of stuff. All right, me, I invest in it. I do options and futures, and rarely do I invest in something long term. But this I believe is going to be my long term investments, and they have the potential, like I said, of going 3-4x pretty quick. Right. So just a little insight for you to help you guys survive the coming storms and do well. Because some of that might carry over. So that's what happened with me. I went through a pretty tough time when the CIA decided they were going to destroy me. And so my gold and silver that I'd accumulated helped carry me through, and I don't think they realized that I had that. So, uh, how about that? Of course, they tried to kill me many times, but it didn't work. So I got protection going on. So deportations, as we're seeing here in America, are surging, and they're also starting to surge in 10 European countries. They're forcing Muslims to return to their countries of origin, because the Muslims are basically here to, take over America, and because they're manipulable, right? I've seen this because I remember I did a lot of time, decades in the Middle East, and I would look at their news and I'd be like, how are they so easily misled? So, and then I saw that the CIA that I was working with was helping that manipulation, and I was like, oh my God, good thing they don't do it in America. And then I started to find out about Operation Mockingbird, of course. I'd heard about it, and I was like, that was an old thing. They obviously don't do that anymore. Uh, so, and then I started to look a little closer, and I'm like, oh, dang. Operation Mockingbird is like, the reason why you don't see it is because Americans are a little more sophisticated and educated. So when you have a group of people that are barely first or maybe the most third grade education as a whole, now of course they have very highly educated people there, and it was kind of cool to hang out with them, because when I was there, of course I'm CIA and I'm undercover and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like a dude working at the State Department. But I was like the 1%er in Pakistan. Like, that was kind of pretty cool. So all of the big wigs, they like invite us all over, so we have to hang out and gather information and pass cards that they would give us to the case officers, so they could contact them. But that's kind of the way it is in those countries. Here in America, like I said, it's more evolved control system. And we're starting to become more aware of that, and we're starting to do our own research, and we're starting to do critical thinking, and we catch these criminals in the mainstream media almost instantly now when they put out BS. All right, all the recent false flag shootings and all that kind of stuff. We're all like, no, and it's all bullshit, as Ole Demigart says, bullshit. He's a master, and he taught all of us a long time. He came on my shows. It was like every other week for like 2 years straight almost. So we all learned a lot from Ole, and we see through their muddy BS very quickly now, and so it's great. So deportations are surging. We're probably going to see the Muslim population here in America, which are here to basically take down America, guys. Right, and we'll probably see a lot of the Muslim population be deported back, and that's good. That's very good, because I've seen them all over the world, and they don't do well with others. So go back to your own countries in Somalia and so forth. But Ilhan Omar, not so fast. You know how they're saying, deport her because she married her brother. Bullshit. Bullshitty. All right. She did very bad things, frauded the American people. She has gone from, like, I don't know, $50,000, $100,000 to $30 million. $30 million, right? And all the Somalis, the little skinnies, that's what we call them. We're over there. We call them the skinnies. They're pretty much raping Minnesota. And they talked about how in Minnesota they have like it's a small state. They have like 5 million people or something like that, and they have 8 million voters. It's insane. It's insane, the corruption that has gone on there, that has been allowed to happen in Minnesota. But that's just Minnesota. This is happening in California. It's probably like that's child's play. In New York, that's child's play. We do it much bigger here, and so Illinois, same thing, child's play. And so we're going to see this corruption in the Democrat Party explode on them, I think, And of course, they pushed the trials of Hilly, not trials, but they're supposed to testify to Congress. They pushed them from I think what was it, last month, end of last month, into January, and I think that's because they were like, let's just take everything down in January. Right? Let's just take the whole Democrat Party down. Let's just do them all. All right. So I think that's going to be a massive exposure, more than has already happened on the Democrat Party. All right. So deportations will continue here in America, and they're continuing in Europe because the Muslims are coming there to basically destroy thousands and thousands of years of history. And, all of those people that have had, all of those generations and generations and hundred generations developing those countries, and you bring in like this other group to like take it down in a generation. That's what they're trying to do, and Europeans are about done with that, and so they're finally pushing back on it. Maybe we're the example right now. I think that's possible. So they're really starting to ramp it up. They're getting their criminals. I mean, their Muslims out of there, right? So, and it's kind of funny because I posted about Ilhan Omar. I said she doesn't get deported; she goes to a penitentiary, right? And someone said, well, what do you think? It's a pirate country, and they intermarry and they interbreed. They're inbred pirate, culture. I'm like, that's brilliant. That's it. That's it right there. Because they have now hundreds, maybe even more, of fraud cases against Somalis. I mean, they came into Ilhan Omar's, district, and she's like partying with them. She's promoting them. She's like bringing them in, and they're like, getting all these jobs, and she's got them working for her. And she's like, I don't know anything about this. They all lie. They all lie until they're in jail. It's like, yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, you're in jail, and yeah, you're going to be there for a long time. And God, if they deport her back without putting her in jail, that'll be a bullshit. Bring her back and put her in jail if she ends up over there. All right. Make an example out of that skinny. All right. Good God, that's bullshit. All right. So, we're trying to get rid of these illegal immigrants and Muslims that want to take over our country, and we have these mayors. There's a mayor, Jacob Fry. Jacob Fry. So let me show you the picture. I'm sending this guy a lot of love. Right, a lot of love, so he can go bye-bye. All right. So Jacob Fry. Lots of love to you, Jacob, and all the baddies that are on you are going to have to go away because you're not going to like that energy, and then you're going to be vulnerable. All right, so here we go. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is facing calls to resign after he warned ICE agents may be killed. So again, these Democrats are trying to cause an insurrection. They have to go. They have to go, and a lot of them, like this clown, should not only just resign, he should be thrown in prison if the operations continue in the city. What is wrong with this guy? Somebody wrote. Yeah, I agree. I am increasingly concerned because of the chaos that is being caused by these ICE agents. Yeah, you're increasingly concerned because they're taking away your capability to money launder and hold the line for your people behind you, which are like the Somalis, are benefiting and robbing the U.S. taxpayers. We all know that we cannot afford to lose a single Minneapolis resident, skinny, because they showed up and decided to protect their neighbors. So the skinnies are basically getting ready to go, Mogadishu on us, guys. That's what we're hearing. And I saw the verbiage that Ilhan Omar used recently, and it sounds like they're starting to foment an insurrection, right? So, like I've been saying, some of those big cities, some of those big blue cities like Minneapolis, you better be very careful. Should have gotten out of it, but if you're still there for whatever reason, be heads up. Be very cautious. Be ready to roll. Have your go bag ready and your silver. Don't have a lot of it because it takes it's 72 pounds for 1,000 ounces, and that's pretty rough to carry that. Right. So anyway, and load it in your car and get the hell out. All right. So Trump revokes temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. They can now be deported. Bye bye, skinnies. All right. So it is something that it's. I don't see them going. All of them going, guys. I think that we might see a fight. Tonight is gonna be a showdown. ICE documents reveal plan to hold 80,000 immigrants in warehouses. Go ICE. Go ICE. All right. So my lovely wife was asking me about contractors, and I was like, they won't have military contractors here. That would be that won't happen. But they'll have there's security contractors everywhere. They protect people. They protect businesses. You go to Walmart, there's security contractors there, and so it's not a big thing. When I was in Blackwater, I was basically a security contractor for the CIA and the State Department. So it is not a big thing. Of course, I was super high speed one, and some of these places cannot afford me, so it would not, and I would not do that anymore because it's I'm here doing a service far more than protecting a few people. All right, and Hollywood, whatever. I had a bunch of my friends, leave contracting world in the Middle East and work with a lot of Hollywood types, and vice versa. They left Hollywood types and came and worked with me overseas. So, there's a lot of really good people out there that can do this work. Former military guys. I'm 65 and I still could kick some serious ass, and I can point a gun and shoot 3 bullets very fast before seconds, and draw my knife, and it will hit a target in less than like a 0.3 seconds. That's how fast I can draw my knife and poke it into your orbital, occipital orbital cavity into your brainstem, and you go bye-bye. Right. So it is, there's a lot of good quality people out there that can, hold the line. There's a lot of us that if things get really out of hand in some of these Democrat cities like Minneapolis or whatever, we could show up and help. Right. ICE documents reveal plan to hold 80,000 immigrants in warehouses. The Trump administration aims to build 7 large-scale holding centers to speed up deportations, and they should have them near airfields so they can, bring them in, process them, load them onto planes, and then get them out. Right. So I saw recently where someone was like crying because we're going to pay illegal aliens like $3,000 and a free trip back home. That's peanuts, guys, compared to what we're going to have to go through money wise to like get them out. We have to hunt them down. That's time. That's you're paying people to do that, to do the research, hunt people down. They're not easily found. They would be easily found if some of these Democrat states like Illinois would not allow them, they're stopping the ICE agents from picking up these illegal aliens when they go to courts and hospitals and all these other places, and they let these criminals go and back into society. It's crazy. That's why we have to see an Insurrection Act, I believe, early next year. All right. So the Trump administration is seeking contractors, all right, to help it overhaul the United States immigrant detention system in a plan that includes renovating industrial warehouses to hold more than 80,000 immigrant detainees at a time. Wow. They're getting serious about getting these knuckleheads out of here, right? Rather than shuttling detainees around the country to wherever detention space is available, as happens now, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement aims to speed up deportations. My mind goes way faster than my mind sometimes. By establishing a deliberate feeder system. That's why sometimes I have to like really pronounce my words, so I slow myself down. All right. All right. Newly arrested detainees would be booked into processing sites for a few weeks before being funneled into one of 7 large-scale warehouses holding 5 to 10,000 people each, where they would be staged for deportation. The large warehouses would be close to major logistics hubs, which means airports, in Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, Georgia, and Missouri. Now, that's interesting because these are all now Virginia just unfortunately went Democrat, but which was stolen, I believe. But most of these, even though Georgia is a Republican state, it is a deep state Republican state. Right? So Rafsanjani and whoever the frig that and you know you got to take into account that you know they are sometimes forced into this. If I'm not mistaken, the governor of Georgia, his daughter was dating a man that basically was targeted and killed, and this was when they were investigating the voter fraud and so forth, and they basically sent a message to him. All right, so you know some of these people we're going to probably have to let them slide a little bit because they were forced into some of this activity. And that's understandable, and that's acceptable to a certain level. So don't completely like. Sometimes I just say Georgia is like the most corrupt state, and even though we have Illinois and New York and California, Georgia is super corrupt, right? It needs to be cleaned up bad. So I don't think anyone has been voted into Georgia in a long time. They've all been selected. All right. 16 smaller warehouses would hold up to 1,500 people each. And of course, that's not going to happen in Illinois at the moment. But at some point, if we do the Insurrection Act, which will be targeting, states like that and cities like Chicago and so forth, for the people there, guys. Of course, there's a lot of people there, not a lot, but I think there's some people there that are still brainwashed into believing in the Democrat Party. But for the most part, they're American citizens and need help, right? And I'm all about that. The draft solicitation is not final and is subject to changes. ICE plans to share it with private detention companies. Please don't do it with the some of these corrupt, prison system detention companies, right? Which basically have a lot of people in those detention centers that really don't belong there. They have judges and law enforcement and so forth that are basically keeping them filled so they make money. And then they filter that back to some of those judges and law enforcement. So be, very, very thoughtful in who you, bring in. So, and these things are, even if you bring in somebody that's on the up and up, they can sometimes be corrupted. And I unfortunately saw that at Blackwater. So Tricia McLaughlin, a spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security, said she cannot confirm or deny, like I used to say when I worked for CIA, the Post reporting and declined to answer questions about the warehouse plan. All right. So they're not on the up and up about it yet, but they're kind of leaking it a little bit so that, people can go, like me, can put this information out there, and people like a lot of you guys in the chat go, let's go. All right. Get her done. All right. That's what we like to say, right? Get her done. Let's move. All right. So the global warming lie is really getting a lot of nails in the coffin on it. And the most recent is record mass gain in Greenland. Record Greenland ice gain, heavy rainfall. So that's something else. But As you see there, that spike is a record ice gain in Greenland. So all of the global warming scam lie, they stopped saying global warming. They said uh, climate change, like climate change. Like what? What? The climate's always changing up and down. Yeah, it's out there. It's a climate change. It went from like 45 degrees a few days ago to 31. So that's climate change. And so you want to build all these, windmills and put them out to sea. So President Trump basically froze the windmills that are going off in the coast because it kills a lot of animals. I guess the whale population really suffers from, I don't know how, but I've just read about how whale populations really get decimated because of those offshore windmills. So President Trump has frozen those because we got a lot of oil. We got a lot of oil here, more than everybody else in the world, except maybe Venezuela, but I don't know, maybe more. And so it's use what you got, and then we'll get once we get to a little bit further into Trump's administration, we start taking down the Democrats who basically kill everybody that comes out with free energy, deep state Democrats. We'll probably go to revealing some of those technologies. We get levitation vehicles and energy systems that'll run your house. That's what David Schmidt has with LifeWave. He's ready to reveal that, but there's a lot of pressure on bringing some of this information out and these technologies. So we can look forward to a lot of these coming out as time goes on. But for right now, I'm going to go up and have a nice glass of champagne with my lovely wife, and I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys next time.